There are literally like two companies and a handful of lawyers that got together, and we're talking maybe 200 people. When you add up like the legislators, the lawyers, their lobbyists, 200 to 500 people that all got together and they said, we want abortion to be illegal. Let's make this happen. How do we draft a bill that's going to be really, really difficult to challenge? Same thing with the Missouri Dobbs case that overturned Roe v. Wade. A bunch of people got together from across the country, not in Missouri. They worked together collectively across the country, Republicans did, and extreme religious groups who got in bed with the Republicans. They worked together across the country and said, what case is going on across the country right now that we can jump onto that we think is most likely to go forward to the Supreme Court to overturn Roe? They'd been working on that for years. So they handpicked that case of all the cases across the country. If they can do that and literally shift an entire nation when almost 80% of the nation is against them, we can make collective change. We can't do it by ourselves. We have to come together in a collective space, whether that is like your website, you have a lot of collective spaces, newsletters, so that way we all know what everyone's doing. Networking becomes really, really, really important. I'm encouraging people to have meetup groups. Like, we're across the country, we're across the world from each other. That doesn't mean that we can't know each other and work together. Your issues that you're experiencing are probably the same exact issues I'm experiencing over here. Slightly different flavor, right? But same stuff. So these issues are going on all over the place. Their issues are our issues. We are experiencing the same stuff. It's all misogyny. It's all power and control dynamics, right? So if we can all come together, first of all, we can collectively problem solve. We can collectively problem solve. We can collectively think tank through issue. Let's get us all together in like monthly meetings on Zooms. Let's get newsletters going out. And instead of having one person work over here, one person work over here, we can all come together and try to make a shift, because that's what they did.
Hell yes. You said everything that I think. Your words, absolutely all of it. One of the things that came to mind when you were saying, one person may have this idea, another may have that idea. One country may be like, let's say the UK has more comprehensive like framework for sex education, but one country may have already the documents, the formulation. And if you live in one of those countries and you're talking to somebody from a different country that doesn't have that kind of framework for their sex education, Bulgaria doesn't have sex education at all. At all. So if one country like is needing that framework, and I'm speaking to, let's say, sex educators in Bulgaria or Romania or wherever, I can be like, hey, the UK has a nice framework. It's already documented. Here it is for your local community there that is connected. You can literally just find people that are allies. And you were saying we're not that many. And then I thought we are many. Because if you count all of the sex educators, sex therapists, sex coaches, relationship coaches, sexologists, then you have the sex researchers, then you have the activists, then you have the lawyers, including marriage and divorce lawyers that have seen plenty of unhealthy dynamics, and they can themselves tell you we need relationship education. They may vouch for relationship education, if not specifically for sex education. We have like people that speak multiple languages that are allies to the cause of sex education and relationship education and can translate if necessary. From English, like from the English framework for sex education, they can translate into Bulgarian, into Romanian, into Spanish, whatever it is, and give it for those groups in those countries that can petition their governments, that can influence their governments. And as you were saying earlier, like if it's 500 people to literally collaborate, get together, allies and everything, put it out, push it into politicians, we have more people. That means that we can be even stronger than them, because the next level of us is our mailing lists and our followers online.
True.
How many
And
followers do you have? Because like, let's say a petition is happening. Open your
I
TikTok.
was
Have a
just I was just gonna say, I just looked at it and I'm like, I'm at 156 or 157,000 even today.
There you go. There you go. So imagine that we are all working together. This is our first layer. We all have audience. We all have like influence somewhere on the internet. And if there is a petition that we all know about that is happening by an organization, let's say that it's not the Sexperts business community because this is not exactly what we do, but let's say that we're in partnership with such an organization. They send us the petition. We send it to our like thousands of members from around the world. They sign it and they make a TikTok, they make a LinkedIn post and Facebook post and wherever they are on social media and call out to the people that follow them. Hey, let's fucking fight this. This is important. Just you. Let's say that only like 1% of all of your followers follow through and sign that petition. That's still thousands of people. And that's just you. And there are thousands of us that have mailing lists, have followers, people that are ready to put their name down on a petition and fight. So this is the power of community, and this is the greater power that we have. And we need to mobilize that. It doesn't start and stop with us. It goes further and further and further in the researchers, because research is sex is impossible because of shitheads at the top that are conservative and don't want to sponsor universities to do research on like healthy, let's say healthy or less harmful contraception for women.
Right.
And like all sorts of like other women's issues and men's issues, because women's issues are men's issues too. We can't even do the research because of shitheads at the top. But if we're working together, I think we stand a fucking good chance.
Absolutely. And I like to remind people too, like you're talking about like the shitheads at the top. We if we collectivize, right? If we have this community, which is an international community, one of our greatest strengths also is our diversity. That's one of our greatest strengths, right? If your team is more diverse, if it's diverse in race, in thought, in religion, in ethnicity, in cultural background, you're able to see more. You're able to see a bigger picture. You're able to problem solve differently. But guess what? Most of the people at the top are light skinned or white men. They don't have that diversity in problem solving and thought. The people that made all these laws, the 200 to 500 people that made all these abortion laws in the US, vast majority of them, older white men that we're cultivating is my dream is, like you were saying, we can make a shift. My dream is that someday we'll be so collectivized. Someday I want the politicians to be like, maybe we should do something about abortion, or maybe we should attack sex ed. And I want them to be so scared of us. I want them to be like, nah, there's that collective out there, y'all. They'll lose their shit. You remember those people? They'll come after us. Don't touch sex ed. I hope we're so collectivized and we're so scary. I hope our community is so strong that they don't even think to mess with it anymore.